everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to have an in-depth conversation about something that affects every single one of us as we age, getting quality sleep. And I'm not just talking about how long you sleep, but how well you sleep, how restorative that sleep is, and how you feel when you wake up in the morning. So get comfortable, maybe grab a cup of tea or coffee, and let's dive deep into creating your perfect sleep environment. By the end of our time together, you'll have a complete roadmap for better sleep. Before we dive into all the solutions and strategies, I think it's really important that we understand what's happening in our bodies and why sleep becomes more challenging as we get older. When you understand the why, the solutions make so much more sense. As we age, several significant changes occur in our bodies that directly impact sleep. First, our circadian rhythms shift. You might notice you're getting sleepier earlier in the evening. Maybe you're dozing off at 8 or 9 o'clock when you used to easily stay up until 11. This isn't laziness or getting old in a negative sense. It's a genuine biological shift in your internal clock. Second, we produce less melatonin, which is often called the sleep hormone. Melatonin is crucial for signaling to our bodies that it's time to sleep. When we're younger, our bodies produce abundant melatonin as darkness falls. But as we age, production decreases, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. Third, the architecture of our sleep changes. We spend less time in the deep restorative stages of sleep and more time in lighter sleep stages. This means we're more easily awakened by sounds, temperature changes, or the need to use the bathroom. It's why a noise that wouldn't have bothered you at all when you were 30 can wake you up instantly at 60. Fourth, physical issues become more prevalent. Joint pain, arthritis, restless legs, acid reflux, sleep apnea, and various other conditions can significantly disrupt sleep. Your body might be uncomfortable in ways it wasn't before, making it harder to find a comfortable sleeping position and maintain it throughout the night. And finally, we become more sensitive to our environment. Temperature fluctuations that you might not have noticed before now wake you up. Light that used to not bother you now keeps you awake. Even the texture of your sheets or the firmness of your mattress can become more noticeable and more important. Here's the good news, and I really want you to hear this. We can address almost all of these issues by optimizing our bedroom environment. While we can't stop the aging process, we can absolutely work with our changing bodies rather than against them. Think of your bedroom as a tool, one that should work with your body, not against it. And just like any tool, it needs to be the right one for the job at hand. Let's start with what I consider the most important element of your sleep environment, your mattress. You spend approximately a third of your life on this surface, so getting it right is crucial. First question, and be honest with yourself. How old is your mattress? If it's over 7 to 10 years old, it's time to start seriously looking at replacement options. I know mattresses are expensive, and we'll talk about budget in a moment, but aging mattresses lose support, accumulate allergens including dust mites and dead skin cells, and can actually contribute to pain and poor sleep quality. Even if your mattress looks fine on the surface, the internal support structure degrades over time. Let me break down the main mattress options available today, with a specific focus on what works best for aging bodies. Memory foam mattresses have become incredibly popular over the last couple of decades, and for good reason. They offer excellent pressure point relief because the foam conforms to your body shape. When you lie down, the foam molds around your hips, shoulders, and other pressure points, distributing your weight more evenly. This can be absolutely wonderful for people with joint pain or arthritis. Memory foam is particularly good for side sleepers because it cushions those pressure points at the shoulders and hips. However, memory foam has some downsides you should be aware of. Traditional memory foam can sleep quite hot because it cradles your body so closely, reducing airflow. Many people wake up feeling too warm. Additionally, memory foam can be difficult to move around on. When you want to change positions during the night, you have to work a bit harder because you're essentially molded into the foam. For some people, especially those with mobility issues, this can be problematic. Memory foam is best for people with arthritis, chronic pain, or pressure point sensitivity who don't tend to sleep hot. Hybrid mattresses combine memory foam or latex comfort layers with an inner spring support core. Think of it as getting the best of both worlds. You get the pressure relief of foam on top with the support and responsiveness of springs underneath. Hybrid mattresses are easier to move around on compared to pure memory foam, and they typically have better temperature regulation because air can flow through the coil system. The springs also provide a bit more bounce, which many people find makes it easier to get in and out of bed, an important consideration as we age. The downsides of hybrid mattresses are primarily cost and weight. They tend to be more expensive than either pure foam or pure innerspring mattresses, and they're significantly heavier, which can make flipping or rotating them more difficult. However, many people find they're worth the investment. They're ideal for couples with different needs because you can often find hybrids with different firmness levels on each side, and they're great for combination sleepers who change positions throughout the night. Latex mattresses are made from either natural latex derived from rubber trees or synthetic latex. They're naturally cooling, which is a huge advantage for hot sleepers. Latex is responsive, meaning it bounces back quickly when you move, making position changes easier. It's extremely durable. A good latex mattress can last 15 to 20 years, and it's naturally hypoallergenic and resistant to dust mites and mold. The main downsides are the firmer feel, which some people love and others don't, and the cost. Quality latex mattresses are expensive. However, when you factor in the longevity, the cost per year can actually be quite reasonable. Latex mattresses are perfect for hot sleepers, those with allergies, and people who want a more responsive, bouncy feel. Adjustable air mattresses use air chambers that you can inflate or deflate to change the firmness level. Some high-end models have dual chambers, so each side of the bed can be adjusted independently. This can be incredibly helpful if your needs change over time due to injury, surgery, or changing health conditions. You can adjust the firmness with the touch of a button. However, adjustable air mattresses are expensive. They require electricity to operate, and some people find them complex to use. There are also more components that can potentially malfunction. They're best for those with changing medical needs, couples with very different firmness preferences, or people who simply want maximum customization. Now let's talk about firmness, because this is where many people make mistakes. You might think that a firmer mattress is better for your back, and while that can be true, it's not universal. Here's the key principle. Medium firm is usually ideal for aging bodies. If a mattress is too soft, you sink in too deeply. This can make it difficult to move and change positions, and it can throw your spine out of alignment, potentially causing back pain. Your hips might sink in too far, creating an uncomfortable curve in your lower back. On the other hand, if a mattress is too firm, you create pressure points. Your shoulders and hips bear too much weight, which can lead to pain and numbness. You might wake up with your arms or legs feeling tingly or asleep because the firm surface has restricted blood flow to those areas. Medium firm provides a balance. It supports your body and keeps your spine aligned while still providing enough give to cushion pressure points. Of course, individual preferences vary based on your weight, sleep position, and specific health conditions, but medium firm is a good starting point for most people. When you're testing a mattress, and please do test in person if at all possible, lie in your normal sleep position for at least 10 to 15 minutes. I know this might feel awkward in a store, but this is a major purchase. Lie there long enough to really feel it. Check if your spine feels aligned. If you're on your side, is your spine in a straight line? If you're on your back, does it maintain your natural curve? Notice any pressure points at your hips, shoulders, or knees. Does anything feel uncomfortable? Also, ask about trial periods. Many mattress companies today, especially online brands, offer 90 to 120 night trial periods. This is crucial because you can't really know how a mattress will work for you until you've slept on it for several weeks. Your body needs time to adjust to a new mattress, and some mattresses need time to break in. Let's address the elephant in the room: cost. Quality mattresses are expensive, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. However, you don't need to spend $5,000. Good mattresses that will serve you well start around $800 to $1,200. Yes, you can find mattresses for less, But at that price point, you're often sacrificing durability and support. I encourage you to think of a mattress as an investment in your health. We spend a third of our lives sleeping. If you get 8 years out of a $1,200 mattress, that's $150 per year or about 40 cents per day. When you frame it that way, investing in quality sleep seems much more reasonable, doesn't it? Now let's talk about pillows, which are just as important as your mattress but often overlooked. The right pillow keeps your head and neck properly aligned with your spine, preventing neck pain, headaches, and even contributing to better breathing during sleep. Your ideal pillow depends primarily on your sleep position. So let's break this down position by position. If you're a back sleeper, you need a medium loft pillow, about 3 to 4 inches thick. The pillow should fill the natural curve of your neck, that C curve between the back of your neck and the mattress. Your head should not be pushed too far forward, nor should it be tilted too far back. When lying on your back, your ears should be roughly aligned with your shoulders. Many back sleepers also benefit from a small pillow or rolled towel under their knees. This slight elevation takes pressure off the lower back and can be incredibly comfortable, especially if you have lower back issues. Side sleepers, which represents the largest group of sleepers, need higher loft pillows, typically 4 to 6 inches. This is because you need to fill the space between your ear and your shoulder. If your pillow is too thin, your head tilts down toward the mattress. If it's too thick, your head tilts up toward the ceiling. Either way, your neck is bent at an uncomfortable angle for hours, which leads to pain and stiffness. The pillow should be firm enough to maintain its height throughout the night without collapsing. I also strongly recommend side sleepers use a pillow between their knees. This keeps your hips aligned and prevents your top leg from pulling your pelvis out of alignment, which can cause hip and lower back pain. Stomach sleepers need low loft or sometimes no pillow at all, and the fill should be quite soft. However, I need to mention that stomach sleeping becomes less ideal as we age, specifically because of the neck strain involved. When you sleep on your stomach, your head is turned to one side for hours, which puts significant strain on your neck. If you're a stomach sleeper and experiencing neck pain, you might want to gradually transition to side or back sleeping. Now let's talk about pillow materials, because the filling makes a significant difference in how a pillow performs. Memory foam pillows contour to your head and neck, providing customized support. They maintain their shape well and provide consistent support throughout the night. However, like memory foam mattresses, they can retain heat. Some people find them too firm or report a chemical smell when they're new, though this typically dissipates within a few days. Latex pillows are responsive and bouncy. They spring back quickly when you move, making position changes easier. They're naturally cooling and resistant to dust mites and mold. Many people find them more comfortable than memory foam because they have more give, but they're still quite supportive. They tend to be expensive but are very durable. Down and feather pillows are soft, luxurious, and adjustable. You can scrunch them up or spread them out to achieve different heights. However, they require regular fluffing to maintain their loft, and they compress over time and need replacement more frequently than foam or latex pillows. Some people are allergic to down, though many manufacturers now offer hypoallergenic down alternatives that mimic the feel. Buckwheat pillows are filled with buckwheat hulls. They're adjustable because you can add or remove hulls to change the height and firmness. They're naturally cooling because air flows through the hulls. However, they can be noisy when you move. You hear the hulls shifting around, and they have a firm, less plush feel that some people love and others dislike. Beyond your main sleeping pillow, let's talk about special purpose pillows that can address specific issues. If you have acid reflux or GERD, a wedge pillow that elevates your upper body can be life-changing. Gravity helps keep stomach acid where it belongs. These pillows typically provide a 6 to 8 inch elevation. For sleep apnea, cervical pillows with a contoured shape can help keep your airways open. The contour supports your neck while keeping your head in a position that doesn't restrict breathing. If you have shoulder pain, especially as a side sleeper, look for side sleeper pillows with an arm cradle or cutout. These allow you to position your bottom arm comfortably rather than having it trapped uncomfortably under your body or pillow. One final note on pillows: replace them every 1 to 2 years. Over time, pillows accumulate dead skin cells, dust mites, oils, and allergens. They also lose their supportive properties. A simple test: fold your pillow in half. If it doesn't spring back to its original shape relatively quickly, it's time for a new one. Temperature is absolutely crucial for sleep quality, and this becomes even more important as we age. Let me explain the science behind this so you understand why getting the temperature right matters so much. Our core body temperature naturally drops when we're preparing for sleep and during sleep itself. This temperature decrease is actually one of the signals that tells our body it's time to sleep. As we age, we become less efficient at regulating our body temperature. Our circulatory system doesn't work quite as efficiently, and hormonal changes, particularly for women going through menopause, can significantly affect temperature regulation. Research consistently shows that 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 degrees Celsius, is optimal for most people's sleep. I know that might sound quite cool, especially if you're used to keeping your home warmer, but there are good reasons for this cooler temperature range. However, and this is important, you might need to adjust based on several factors. Certain medications affect temperature regulation. For example, some blood pressure medications, antidepressants, and thyroid medications can make you feel warmer or cooler than usual. Menopausal hot flashes obviously require adjustments. Circulation issues can make extremities feel cold even when your core temperature is fine. And personal preference matters. Some people genuinely sleep better slightly warmer or cooler than the average range. Let's talk about practical temperature control strategies, starting with your bedding choices. For sheets, natural fibers are almost always superior to synthetics when it comes to temperature regulation. Cotton, especially high thread count percale or breathable sateen, is a classic choice. Linen is exceptional for temperature regulation. It's naturally cooling and gets softer with every wash. Bamboo sheets have become popular because they're naturally moisture wicking and cooling. Avoid polyester or microfiber sheets if you sleep hot, as they trap heat and moisture. For blankets and comforters, I strongly recommend layering rather than using one heavy comforter. Use several lighter layers that you can add or remove as needed throughout the night. A light cotton blanket plus a medium weight duvet gives you more flexibility than one heavy down comforter. This is especially helpful if you or your partner experience temperature fluctuations during the night. For mattress protectors, choose breathable materials. Many people use waterproof mattress protectors, which are great for protecting your mattress investment, but avoid vinyl-backed ones. Look for protectors made with breathable waterproof materials, like those using a polyurethane membrane that blocks liquids but allows airflow. Now let's talk about specific cooling strategies if you tend to sleep hot. Use a fan for air circulation even if you have air conditioning. Moving air feels cooler against your skin and helps evaporate any moisture. A ceiling fan is ideal, but a standing or clip-on fan works too. Position it so it's not blowing directly on your face all night, which can be uncomfortable and dry out your eyes and nasal passages. Consider a cooling mattress topper. These range from simple breathable toppers that allow more air circulation to high-tech options with gel layers or even active cooling systems. A cooling topper can make a significant difference if you have a mattress that sleeps hot but is otherwise comfortable. Try moisture-wicking sleepwear made from materials designed to pull moisture away from your skin. Athletic performance fabrics work well for this. Natural fibers like cotton and bamboo also wick moisture effectively. Keep a glass of water on your nightstand. Sometimes taking a small sip of cool water can help you cool down without fully waking up. Use breathable, natural fiber sheets, as we discussed. This simple change alone can make a surprising difference. Now for warming strategies if you tend to sleep cold. Layer with lightweight blankets rather than one heavy one. This traps air between the layers, which actually provides better insulation than one thick blanket. Use flannel sheets in winter. They're warmer than regular cotton sheets and feel cozy without being too heavy. Consider a low-setting electric blanket. But here's the important part. Use it to warm up the bed before you get in, then turn it off before you fall asleep. Sleeping with an electric blanket on all night can disrupt your natural temperature regulation and potentially lead to overheating later in the night. Wear breathable socks to bed. Cold feet can make it difficult to fall asleep because your body is trying to conserve heat in your core, restricting blood flow to your extremities. Warm socks can actually help your body relax and prepare for sleep. Just make sure they're not too tight, which could restrict circulation. Light is one of the most powerful signals our bodies use to regulate sleep, and understanding how to manage light properly can dramatically improve your sleep quality. As we age, our eyes become more sensitive to light at night. Even small amounts of light that wouldn't have bothered you when you were younger can now disrupt your sleep. At the same time, we also need more bright light exposure during the day to maintain our circadian rhythm. This might seem contradictory, but both are true, and we need to address both aspects. Let's start with daytime light exposure, which is just as important as nighttime darkness. Get bright light exposure in the morning, ideally within the first hour of waking. Open your curtains immediately. Let natural light flood into your bedroom and home. If possible, spend time outside, even just 10 to 15 minutes. Morning light exposure is particularly powerful for setting your circadian rhythm. It signals to your body that it's daytime, which helps you feel more alert during the day and sleepier at the appropriate time in the evening. Use bright indoor lights during the day, especially if you don't get much natural light exposure. Bright light throughout the day helps maintain the strong contrast between day and night that your body needs to regulate sleep properly. This increased daytime light exposure becomes even more important as we age because our circadian rhythms can weaken. By maintaining strong light-dark cycles, we help keep our circadian rhythms robust. Now let's talk about your evening light strategy, which should begin 2 to 3 hours before your target bedtime. Start dimming overhead lights. You don't need to sit in darkness, but reducing the brightness signals to your body that evening is approaching. Use table lamps and floor lamps instead of bright overhead fixtures. Switch to warm-toned lighting. Look for bulbs with a color temperature of 2700 Kelvin or lower. This is that soft, yellowish light similar to traditional incandescent bulbs. Avoid bright white or blue-toned lights in the evening. Many modern LED bulbs allow you to choose the color temperature, which is incredibly useful. Avoid blue light from screens, which we'll discuss more in a moment. Consider using amber or red lights in your bedroom. These wavelengths have minimal impact on melatonin production. Red light, in particular, has been shown in studies to have the least disruptive effect on sleep. For your bedroom specifically, the goal is to make it as dark as possible when you're sleeping. Even small amounts of light can reduce sleep quality. For window treatments, you have options. Blackout curtains or shades block all external light. These are ideal if you have street lights outside your window, if you live in an area with extended daylight hours, or if you work night shifts and need to sleep during the day. However, if you want to wake with natural light, which can be a gentle and pleasant way to wake up, consider light filtering shades that block most light but allow some through in the morning. You could also use blackout curtains but leave them slightly open so morning light can enter. Make absolutely sure no street lights, car lights, or neighboring lights are directly visible from your bed. Even these small, indirect light sources can disrupt sleep. If you need to navigate at night to use the bathroom, and most of us do as we age, use motion sensor night lights. These are fantastic because they only come on when you need them. Place them low to the ground so the light doesn't shine in your eyes. Choose red or amber-colored night lights. These wavelengths don't significantly suppress melatonin production like blue or white light does. Keep them very dim, just bright enough to see where you're walking and prevent falls, but not so bright that they fully wake you up. Now let's address the elephant in the room: screens and blue light. Electronic devices, phones, tablets, computers, televisions emit significant amounts of blue light. Blue light is particularly effective at suppressing melatonin production. It essentially tells your brain that it's daytime and you should be alert. Here are your options in order from most effective to least effective. Best option: stop using screens 1 to 2 hours before bed. I know this is difficult in our modern world, but it's genuinely the most effective approach. Read a physical book, listen to music or podcasts, do gentle stretches, journal, or engage in other non-screen activities. Good option. If you must use devices in the evening, enable night mode or blue light filters. Every modern smartphone, tablet, and computer has this feature. It shifts the display toward warmer amber tones, While not as good as avoiding screens entirely, it does help. Also, reduce the brightness of your screens significantly. Minimum option. If you're watching television in the evening, sit farther away from the screen, keep the brightness low, and make sure you're not watching right up until you turn out the lights. Give yourself at least 30 minutes of wind-down time after turning off the TV. Some people use blue light blocking glasses in the evening. These orange or amber-tinted glasses filter out blue wavelengths. The research on their effectiveness is mixed, but some people find them helpful. Consider smart lighting systems that can be programmed to gradually dim and shift to warmer tones as evening progresses. Some systems can even simulate sunrise in the morning, gradually brightening to help you wake more naturally. These can be particularly helpful for people with flexible schedules or those who struggle with conventional alarm clocks. Clean, comfortable air is essential for quality sleep, yet it's something many people overlook entirely. Let's talk about why air quality matters, especially as we age, and what you can do about it. As we age, our respiratory systems become more sensitive. Allergies that might have been minor inconveniences when we were younger can become more bothersome. Dry air affects our skin and breathing more noticeably. Poor air quality can trigger coughing, congestion, and general discomfort that disrupts sleep. Let's start with humidity, which is critically important but often ignored. Aim for 30 to 50% relative humidity in your bedroom. This range is comfortable for most people and inhibits the growth of mold and dust mites. If humidity is too low, you'll experience dry throat and nasal passages when you wake up. Your skin may feel dry and itchy. You might experience more static electricity. Dry air can also irritate respiratory conditions and make you more susceptible to colds and flu. If humidity is too high, the air feels stuffy and uncomfortable. You might notice condensation on windows. High humidity promotes the growth of mold and dust mites, both of which are allergens that can significantly disrupt sleep. To manage humidity, first measure it. Buy an inexpensive hygrometer, which measures relative humidity. They cost $10 to $20 and give you objective information about your environment. If humidity is too low, typically in winter or in dry climates, use a humidifier. Choose one that's appropriate for your room size. Clean it regularly according to manufacturer instructions. A dirty humidifier can actually make air quality worse by dispersing mold and bacteria. Use distilled water rather than tap water to prevent mineral buildup and white dust. If humidity is too high, use a dehumidifier, especially in humid climates or during summer. Empty it regularly and clean it as directed. Your air conditioning system also removes humidity from the air, which is one of its functions beyond just cooling. Now let's talk about air purification. Consider an air purifier if you have allergies, asthma, live in an area with poor air quality, have pets, or notice that you wake up congested or with respiratory discomfort. When choosing an air purifier, look for true HEPA filters. HEPA stands for High Efficiency Particulate Air. True HEPA filters capture 99.97% of particles as small as 0.3 microns. This includes pollen, pet dander, dust mites, mold spores, and even some bacteria and viruses. Make sure the purifier is rated for your room size. Air purifiers are rated by the size of room they can effectively clean. A purifier that's too small for your space won't be effective. Consider noise level. Since this will run while you sleep, look for units that operate at under 50 decibels on the lowest setting. Many purifiers are very quiet on low settings but quite loud on high settings. One important warning: avoid ozone generators. Some air purifiers generate ozone, claiming this cleans the air. However, ozone is a lung irritant and can actually worsen respiratory problems. Stick with HEPA filtration. Beyond mechanical air purification, you can improve air quality through simple habits. Keep your bedroom dust-free. Vacuum regularly, at least once a week, using a vacuum with a HEPA filter. Regular vacuums can actually blow fine particles back into the air. Dust surfaces with a damp cloth rather than a dry duster, which just moves dust around. Wash your bedding weekly in hot water. This kills dust mites and removes allergens. Your pillowcases especially should be washed weekly because they're in direct contact with your face all night. Use dust mite covers on your mattress and pillows. These are tightly woven covers that prevent dust mites from colonizing your mattress and pillows. They're especially helpful if you have allergies. If possible, remove carpet from your bedroom. Hard flooring, wood, tile, or vinyl is much easier to keep clean and doesn't harbor dust mites and allergens the way carpet does. If you want softness underfoot, use washable area rugs. Keep pets out of your bedroom if you have pet allergies. I know this is difficult because many of us love sleeping with our furry friends, but if you're struggling with sleep quality and have pet allergies, this change alone can make a dramatic difference. Avoid heavy perfumes, air fresheners, scented candles, and strong cleaning products in your bedroom. These can irritate sensitive respiratory systems. If you want fragrance, use very light, natural essential oils sparingly. Finally, let's talk about ventilation. Open windows when weather permits. Fresh air exchange is beneficial for air quality. Obviously, this depends on outdoor conditions. If it's extremely hot, cold, or if outdoor air quality is poor, keep windows closed. As we age, we often become lighter sleepers and more sensitive to noise disruptions. We're most vulnerable to noise during the lighter stages of sleep, which we spend more time in as we get older. A sound that wouldn't have wakened you at all when you were younger might now pull you completely out of sleep. Let's talk about strategies for managing sound in your sleep environment. First, let's address external noise, sounds coming from outside your bedroom. Heavy, thick curtains help absorb sound in addition to blocking light. The thicker and heavier the fabric, the more sound it dampens. Weather stripping on doors and windows reduces sound transmission. This is inexpensive and easy to install yourself. Check for gaps around doors and windows where sound can enter. Rugs or carpeting absorb sound much better than hard floors. If you have hardwood floors, which I recommended earlier for allergen control, consider large area rugs to help with sound dampening. A white noise machine can mask irregular sounds. This is often more effective than trying to block sound completely. Let me explain the different types of background noise because they're not all the same. White noise contains all frequencies at equal intensity. It sounds like static or a fan. It's effective at masking other sounds, but some people find it harsh or irritating. Pink noise emphasizes lower frequencies slightly. It sounds like steady rain or wind through trees. Many people find it more soothing than white noise. Brown noise emphasizes even lower frequencies. It sounds like a strong waterfall or heavy wind. Some people find this the most relaxing of all. I encourage you to experiment with different types. There are free apps and websites where you can listen to samples. What works for one person might not work for another. Beyond these colored noises, you might prefer natural sounds like ocean waves, forest sounds, rain, or thunderstorms. These can be very soothing and help mask irregular environmental noises. A simple fan serves double duty. It provides cooling and white noise. Many people find the consistent whoosh of a fan very soothing. Your HVAC system, if it runs consistently, provides background noise that can help mask other sounds. If you share your bedroom with a partner who snores, this is a particular challenge. White noise can help mask snoring sounds. However, if snoring is severe, it might indicate sleep apnea, which is a serious medical condition. Encourage your partner to discuss this with their doctor. Beyond that, good quality earplugs can help, as can sleeping in separate rooms occasionally when you need a really good night's sleep. There's no shame in this. Sleep quality is important for both partners. If you need earplugs, choose soft foam or silicone varieties. Make sure they fit properly. If they're uncomfortable, you won't keep them in. Keep them clean, washing them regularly or replacing disposable ones frequently. Replace them on the manufacturer's recommended schedule. One critical warning about earplugs. If you use them, make absolutely sure you can still hear smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, and other safety devices. Test this before committing to using earplugs every night. You might need to install louder alarms or ones that also have flashing lights. We've covered an enormous amount of information today, and I want to emphasize again that you don't need to implement everything immediately. In fact, trying to change everything at once is likely to be overwhelming and counterproductive. Start with one or two changes that seem most relevant to your situation. Maybe you know your mattress is terrible, and that's the obvious place to start. Or maybe you realize your bedroom is way too warm or too bright. Address the biggest issues first. Remember, quality sleep isn't a luxury. It's absolutely essential for your health, especially as we age. Good sleep affects your immune system, your cognitive function, your mood, your cardiovascular health, your metabolism, and your overall quality of life. Your bedroom should be working for you, supporting your health, not undermining it. Be patient with yourself and with the process. Sometimes it takes a few weeks to adjust to a new mattress or pillow. Sometimes you need to try several different white noise sounds before finding one that works. Sometimes your ideal sleep temperature changes with the seasons. This is all normal. Also, be willing to invest in your sleep. I know mattresses and air purifiers and new bedding can be expensive. But consider what poor sleep is costing you in terms of your health, your daytime functioning, your mood, and your quality of life. When you frame it that way, investing in better sleep becomes one of the smartest investments you can make. If you implement the strategies we've discussed today and you're still having significant sleep difficulties, please talk to your healthcare provider. Sometimes sleep problems have underlying medical causes that need to be addressed, such as sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, or other conditions. Your doctor can help identify these issues and develop an appropriate treatment plan. But for many people, optimizing the bedroom environment makes an enormous difference. Small changes can accumulate into significantly better sleep, and better sleep means better days, better health, and a better quality of life. You deserve to sleep well. Your body deserves a comfortable, supportive place to rest and restore itself each night. Take the information we've discussed today and use it to create your personal sleep sanctuary. Start tonight with one small change, then build from there. Your future well-rested self will thank you. Sleep well and take care of yourself. Thank you for spending this time with me today.